Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is November 15th. While we wait for the stove to heat up, we have a lot of award coverage to talk about. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? In case you missed it, last Monday there was no episode, and here we are again back with a Friday episode here. I think I'm going to keep it to one episode a week just because getting busy with school, and there isn't much to talk about, so hopefully the stove will heat up and we'll have a lot of free agents signing soon. But until that comes around, I think for at least the month of November and probably leading into December, we'll try to stick it to one episode a week, and we'll be looking more on the Friday side of things. So for now, temporary, potentially maybe full-time, but for now I'm going to say that episodes will be out Friday once a week, and that way you guys can be more prepared for it and enjoy them, hopefully. So with that all being said, let's start and dive on into the baseball news from the week here. And we're going to start with Travis d'Arnaud because he is signing with the Los Angeles Angels, who could be the only team to know that, free agency is going on at the moment because they're the only ones really doing anything of much here. They traded for Jorge Soler. They've signed Kyle Hendricks. They did sign Kevin Newman as well, which is like I'm not going to talk about that, but it's an interesting player to pick up. And they've also now signed Travis d'Arnaud. They're the only team really making some, I would say, major moves so far in this off-season free agency here. They also, they traded for Scott Kingery and, signed him to a deal to avoid arbitration with him. So the Angels making moves. Good for them. Will it matter? I don't know. But what will matter is Travis d'Arnaud, because I think this guy is still a pretty nice player to have on a major league team. The one-time All-Star, the one-time Silver Slugger, as well as the 2021 World Series champion with the Atlanta Braves. He's had an up-and-down career starting all the way back in 2013, which was mostly down. He had a couple of nice years with the Mets, finished 7th in Rookie of the Year voting in 2014, had a really nice year in 2015. Of course, that was the year the Mets made it to the World Series. But from there, kind of struggled the following years, leading up to a 2019 where he went from the Mets to the Dodgers to the Rays, had a nice little, finishing of the year in Tampa Bay before then getting signed with the Braves. And in 2020, that COVID year where he signed with them is kind of where his career kind of came back to form. He had a career high, a bunch of numbers. And remember, this was also in COVID, which obviously, goes to show the career high in OPS and all this other stuff. But still a fantastic year. Won a Silver Slugger that year. 2021, it was more of kind of like maybe 2020 was a fluke, COVID, whatever. 2022, he comes back. He's an all-star, a great catcher, and he's been, a solid number 2 guy for the Braves since, because then, of course, they signed Sean Murphy to trade for him, and he's kind of been the backup catcher, which I expect him to be in LA. Of course, they have Logan O'Hoppe, a young catcher who, is up and coming. I've talked about O'Hoppe a lot on the podcast. Love him a lot. He's a great player. But d'Arnaud is going to be a great kind of backup, and I think he could still be, a number 1 catcher, let's say, if O'Hoppe gets hurt. Like, he is the Angels, platooning with O'Hoppe and d'Arnaud, I think is a great platoon for the catchers, great battery, 1-2 punch, one guy needs a day off. Maybe even, you go for a double DH with the catchers. I think d'Arnaud's a nice player to have. Of course, this year, played in 99 games. Had 15 home runs, a 238 batting average, a 739 OPS, which, for a catcher is, that's pretty solid numbers. Nothing eye-popping. Nothing's going to win an award here, but still a very solid year in a 12-year career. He's hit 123 home runs, 438 RBIs, his career. 735 on base percentage, 248 batting average. So he's been, a great player to have in his tenure in the big leagues here, and I think the Angels will see what they can milk out of him and try to, use him as a a player to help them kind of get into form here. Of course, the Angels team isn't ugly, isn't an awful team on paper. It's just when they actually start playing, is that's when things can get a little bit more but right now, going off of the Angels team here, they'd be rocking a lineup here. Taylor Ward out there in left. Mike Trout still doing it in center potentially, maybe moving to right field, one of the corner spots, depending on, how his injuries coming back from that. They have Jorge Soler now at the DH. Joe Adell maybe moves to center instead, but he's kind of listed as right fielder. Hoppy behind the plate. You have Zach Neto, who kind of had a breakout year this year, had great numbers. Luis Rengifo still at second. Nolan Shanuel at first. And then, of course, Anthony Rendon. Can you get him back to form? Is he ever going to be the player he once was? You're not sure. And then you look at that bench here, d'Arnaud, Kevin Newman, Scott Kingery, and Mickey Moniak. So, kind of a sneaky, decent offense, I think. Obviously with the Rangers and the Astros, the Mariners, it's still a tough division to get through. But you're going to need pitching here because that's what kind of lacks here. Jose Soriano is the one right now. Tyler Anderson, Kyle Hendricks, Reed Detmers. And then the bullpen is kind of a bunch of names on the paper here for me, except for Ben Joyce, who's been absolutely solid and fantastic. Of course, Robert Stevenson, he's injured. Patrick Sandoval, he's injured. But, there's some moves here happening for the Angels. They're trying to rework themselves. They did finish last in the division this year. The Athletics are better than them. And I think the Oakland A's, whoa, how many mistakes am I going to make of that? The Athletics are, I feel like they're up and coming. I feel like they've got some pieces kind of forming now. They kind of look to be on the right track. Of course, it's going to be a little weird not having a home, playing games in Sacramento for the next couple of seasons here before actually making the move to Las Vegas. So I think the Athletics could be screwed on that front, but I still kind of like them a little bit more than the Angels right now. But of course, Angels have Mike Trout. You have him, and you have him healthy. Who knows what the Angels are going to be able to bring in 2024. But d'Arnaud will be being brought with them and as along for the ride. So that is an interesting move, and we'll see how it pays off for LA. Moving on here. Let's talk Roki Sasaki, because his NBP, his Japanese baseball team, has announced that he will be posted this winter and will become a MLB free agent for all 30 teams. This is huge. This is absolutely monumental. In case you don't know who this guy is, go and search him up right now, because he is a phenom. He is, honestly, I am so excited to see this guy in MLB next year. Hopefully for any team but the Dodgers or Yankees, because that would be kind of lame, especially the Dodgers. But Roki Sasaki, if you missed what he did in the World Baseball Classic for the winning Japan baseball team, go and look at those highlights. He is disgusting on the mound. This guy is legit. He's only 23 years old as well. He's played 4 years in the NBP, in the Japanese Baseball League, pitching up 414.2 innings pitched, 524 strikeouts in 69 games. He has a 30-15 win-loss record. Only has given up 16 home runs, and that's a career ERA 2.02. Absolutely outstanding numbers. Not only would this guy come to the league and dominate, I think he would win a Cy Young. He could win the Rookie of the Year. He could lead a franchise. He could be the ace of any team. Only 23 years old, as I said. And, I mean, this is going to be the guy to get in my mind. If I look at all the free agents that we have, everyone who's going to be around in this offseason, whatever you want to call it, I would say Juan Soto is number one, Roki Sasaki number two. I think this guy is legit. I am so excited to see him pitch. Hopefully he finds his way to a team that you would like to support, like a Pirates, a Oakland. Obviously that would never happen. Sorry, I keep saying Oakland. Whoa, that's number two in this episode. Let's Okay, so the Athletics, obviously that would never happen. Maybe the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, a fun up-and-coming team. I would hate to see him go with the Dodgers just because they already have Ohtani, they have Yamamoto. it's a different world we live in, unfortunately. I'm really hoping if he signs anywhere, it's not with the Dodgers. Maybe the Red Sox could be fun. The Royals, even the Tigers. Some of those teams. Baltimore. Any of those options, please, please, please do not sign with the Dodgers. But in the very latest, I would love to see Sasaki, and I'm hoping, if he's getting posted, someone's going to sign him to a nice big deal here. Of course, the Dodgers spent a lot of money on Yamamoto and other players last offseason. Will it be more of the same for the Dodgers, or, how will they handle their 2024 offseason here? But please, 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 do not sign with the Dodgers. That's my only hope, and only take that. But Roki Sasaki will be coming to the majors next year, and that is extremely exciting. Moving on here, the Rays. Of course, they've had to deal with a lot of stuff happening to them in this offseason. Of course, one being the hurricanes and the storms that have been hitting in the Tampa area. Of course, in St. Pete, the home of Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays, got damaged pretty badly, so badly that is going to be an unsafe condition for the 2025 season, and potentially even more. So it's been announced after a couple weeks of speculating, the Rays are planning to play their 2025 home games at Steinbrenner Field. This is the home of the Yankees spring training complex. It's a nice ballpark. It seats, about, I think, 11,000 I saw, something like that. So still decent numbers, and it is actually in Tampa Bay instead of St. Pete. So, it'll be interesting to see how many fans actually start coming out to some games here for the Rays. And it'll be interesting going forward. Of course, the Rays, I believe, will be paying the Yankees $15 million in the agreement for letting them use their field. I believe that might come out of insurance, whatever. But however that's getting handled, the Yankees will get $15 million extra money to spend in the offseason here, thanks to the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Rays will be at Steinbrenner Field for the 2025 season. So we'll have two homeless teams in 2025. Very interesting to say the least, but the Rays will be doing that. The Marlins are hiring a new manager. Of course, we knew about this because Skip Schumacher, of course, was not coming back. But they are hiring Clayton McLeod, I believe is how his name is pronounced, to be their new manager for the 2025 season. He was the Dodgers' first base coach, of course, so he is coming off a World Series ring from, standing at first base, telling runners to go for second, telling them when to steal, helping them out in that way. But he is going to be taking over the Miami Marlins, of course. Kind of an interesting team for 2025 when you think about it. Of course, was a playoff team in 2023, had a horrendous start to this season 2024, and struggled mightily hard. Of course, no more Jazz. A lot of their assets were traded, but of course they're getting pitchers back, and that was kind of the story of the Marlins, having no healthy starters. Sandy Alcantara, no. Yuri Perez, no. Both of them should be back and healthy for the 2025 season. So it might be more the same with the Marlins, with just good pitching and not great offense. But of course, we'll see what they do in the offseason here. But they could be a sneaky playoff team next year if they play their cards right. And Clayton McLeod will have a new job and a new team to manage here. So good for him, and hopefully it works out for the Marlins here. In other news, just the other day, the Guardians showed off some new uniforms for the 2025 season. Pretty similar to the ones they currently had. Change of font, change of some colors and logos and hats even. The home jersey now featuring a red baseball cap instead of the navy blue that we were so used to. I kind of like them. Like I said, it's not anything mind-blowing, eye-poppingly different. Pretty similar to last season, but new uniforms are always exciting for some teams, and they do look good. They had Andres Jimenez and Kwan and Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor. They were trying them on and showing off the new uniforms. So 4 new uniforms there for the Guardians for home, away, and some alternate jerseys as well. So good for them having those. And then the last thing that I saw actually just before I sat down to do this, the Pirates have an interesting offer on the table here for one lucky baseball card, pack opener here. And I'm just going to pull it up again really quickly because I didn't remember exactly what the deal was. But, of course, the debut patches, which MLB players wear on their first game, and they get turned into a signed Topps card. That's been a thing now for, I believe, a couple of years. And the Pirates are making an offer for the person who pulls the Paul Skeens card. So the Paul Skeens MLB debut patch card, 1/1 signed authentic card. The offer that the Pittsburgh Pirates are offering that fan: 2 Pirates season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years. That alone is already enough to get me to make that offer. A softball game for 30 at PNC Park, and coaching from Pirates alumnum, which is really cool. You know, if you got 30 friends to bring along and you have a nice softball game at PNC Park, very cool. And then a spring training experience like no other, including a private tour of Pirate City and LECOM Park, a meet and greet with Paul Skeens, 2 Paul Skeens autographed jerseys, take batting practice / warm-ups with the team, and other unique experiences at Pirate City and LECOM Park. LECOM, I'm not sure what their park is, if that's abbreviation or just LECOM. But yeah, that's extremely enticing. Of course, the Pirates want this card to be able to debut it, or at least to have it, and showcase it at PNC Park for all Pirates fans to enjoy. 30 years of behind home plate season tickets is an incredible deal. Teams, I think, should do this more often because that's crazy. I'm not from Pittsburgh. I'm not, I like the Pirates, but I wouldn't say I'm a Pirates fan here. But I'm definitely going to buy some Topps cards and hope to pull this card because, hey, let me tell you, I will move to Pittsburgh. That would be crazy. A crazy, crazy, crazy offer, crazy deal here. Obviously, I don't know if this would actually work out because, like I said, for me, someone who's not from Pittsburgh, not from the Pittsburgh area, who opens cards, I'm not going to, uproot my entire life just to move to Pittsburgh, just to have 30 years of home plate, season tickets. That's crazy, crazy deal. But if someone from Pittsburgh pulls this card, there's no way you should hold on to this. It's a cool baseball card to have, let me tell you. But 30 years of behind home plate season tickets is outstandingly good of an offer here. And obviously meet and greet and signed jerseys and all this great stuff as well. I think anyone, should be able to make this trade. It's going to be interesting to see when this actually happens, when someone pulls the 1/1 Paul Skeens card. But yeah, that is a crazy offer here from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So yeah, keep an eye out for those cards if you're opening packs this year. Moving on here, let's talk the the BBWAA Finalist Awards for the 2024 season. Of course, some of this we kind of already know, but we're still going to talk. They announced their finalists, and we're just going to run through those really quickly, and I'm going to make my picks for each of the awards here. So, starting off, the AL MVP finalists, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Bobby Witt Jr. I believe Aaron Judge will end up winning his MVP. Bobby Witt, I hope, will come second in this. I think he had a phenomenal season. He was my pick for the MVP at the beginning of the season, so the fact that he is a finalist is a good feeling, but I don't think he's going to end up winning it over Judge, but hopefully he can beat Soto, who I have coming in third. So that is for your AL MVP. Your NL MVP, we have Shohei Ohtani, Francisco Lindor, and Ketel Marte. Hats off to Ketel Marte for coming in third here, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be his spot. Ohtani will end up winning another MVP. Lindor will come runner-up and be second to Ohtani. That's my predictions there for the MVP on the NL side. For the AL Cy Young, a little interesting here. Tarek Skubal, Seth Lugo, and then Emmanuel Clase. How about that from the Cleveland closer? He is the first relief pitcher to be a Cy Young finalist since Francisco Rodriguez in 2008. That's huge honors for him, and that makes it kind of hard to read here, but in my mind, Tarek Skubal is definitely winning this. I think Class A will come second, and then Seth Lugo will finish in third. Hats off to Seth Lugo, by the way, because I did not have him as a finalist. I was thinking maybe Corbin Burns would sneak into the list here. But hats off, Seth Lugo had a fantastic year in Kansas City, and will either be second or third in the Cy Young winning race there for the AL side. But Tarik Skubal definitely going to be taking home honors there. On the NL side, Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, and how about Paul Skeens? He is the first rookie to be a finalist since Jose Fernandez, may he rest in peace, in 2013. I think Chris Sale has it in the bag, locked up nice and tidy there for number one. The Paul Skeens is very interesting, though. I think he will stay third, though. Zach Wheeler had a phenomenal year, and I think he will be second. So Sale 1, Wheeler 2, and Paul Skeens third is my predictions there for the Cy Young. For the AL Rookie of the Year, we got Colton Cowser from Baltimore, Luis Hill from the Yankees, and Austin Wells from the Yankees. Little surprising on the AL Rookie side here. Of course, no Wyatt Langford, no Mason Miller is a little bit of a shock here as well. To be honest with you, I find the AL Rookie of the Year class here kind of underwhelming. These guys had good seasons, but Wilyer Abreu as well was another interesting option here. I find these three, they had good years, but nothing shining, standing bright here. I'm going to say Luis Hill ends up winning it with Colton Cowser coming in second, and then Austin Wells finishing it off in third. But on the other hand, the NL Rookie of the Year is a lot more interesting and a lot more deserving. Paul Skeens, Jackson Merrill, and Jackson Chourio. Any of these three in the AL would win 100%. I think Merrill had a better season than all three of those guys. Chourio had a better season, of course, Skeens. This is going to be the award that I'm the most excited to see win. I think it's the closest because I think any of these three could win it. I do believe Jackson Chourio, though, will fall short and come in third. I think Paul Skeens will end up winning it and Jackson Merrill will come second, but I really do hope Jackson Merrill comes first. I love this kid. This guy had a great season, had a lot of clutch hitting moments, clutch defensive moments, and helped that Padres team get back to the postseason. I think he's a mainstay, and there's going to be a new face of the franchise for that Padres team that already has so many faces of their franchise. I love me some San Diego guys right now, and Jackson Merrill would hopefully win it, but I believe Skeens will end up taking the cake with Merrill coming in second. That is my predictions there. And then for the managers of the year, very interesting stuff for both of them. For the AL side, we have AJ Hinch from your Detroit Tigers, Matt Quintero from your Kansas City Royals, and Stephen Vo from your from your Cleveland Guardians. All three coming from the AL Central. A huge, boost to that AL Central division that last year I was saying the AL Mid division because of how poopy all five of those teams were. This year's a big change of the story. The Tigers were good. The Royals were good. The Guardians were great in my mind. Hinch and Quintero brought franchises that looked dead for years into the postseason. Hinch brought their Tigers into the division series as well as the Royals did. So, both these guys very similar, having, the same kind of years. But Stephen Vo, took a Guardians team, created a culture there. I love me Stephen Vo. I've loved him since he was an Oakland A's catcher at the beginning of his career. Loved him as an Oakland A's catcher at the end of his career. A great ball player, a great manager. He took a great team and turned them even better. I'm hoping Stephen Vo will win it. He's my prediction to take the manager of the year on the AL side. I think Matt Quintero should be second, and then AJ Hinch third. If we're going off of regular season, if we include the postseason, I will put Hinch above Quintero, but it's going to be a close race there between those three AL Central managers, all of which deserving of it, but I think Vo will take the cake. From the NL side of things, we have Carlos Mendoza from the Mets, Pat Murphy from the Brewers, and then Mike Shildt from the Padres, all of which, great seasons. Mets, who would have thought the Mets would have been in the NLCS? Who would have thought the Brewers were going to be in the playoffs? I did not. Pat Murphy did a great job. The players did a great job of proving me wrong in that sense. But Mike Shelt took a Padres team, of course, that was so good on paper, struggling from last year, turned them into the team that almost won the World Series, because if they had won in Game 5, no doubt in my mind they would have gone on to win the whole dang thing. Mike Shelt is my pick for first. I'm going to put Pat Murphy second, and then Carlos Mendoza third. Those are my picks for the NL Manager of the Year. All of these awards will be announced in next week here. So Monday, it will be the Rookie of the Year, November 18th. November 19th will be the Managers of the Year. The 20th will be the Cy Youngs, and the 21st will be the MVPs, Monday through Thursday. So next Friday, on our next episode, we'll be talking about all 4 winners, or all 8 winners for each side, and highlighting their seasons as well. So those are the BBWAA finalists for the 2024 season. Moving on now, I just want to go over the Team Gold Gloves and the Platinum Gold Glove winners. Platinum Glove. Of course, we mentioned the Gold Glove winners in last episode, but since then they announced the team as well as the Platinum Glove. So I'm just going to highlight that. For the Team Gold Glove winners, the Blue Jays are the Gold Glove winners from the AL. Back-to-back seasons for them. Their defense has been phenomenal. They just need some more offense for sure. And then on the NL side, it was the Milwaukee Brewers. How about that for the Brew Crew? Great team defense all the way around. So both of those teams, congratulations on that. For our Platinum Glove winners, the best defender in the AL, the Platinum Glove winner was Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. Fantastic season for him, not only offensively, but behind the dish as well, as seen by this Platinum Glove. And on the NL side, how about Bryce Terang from the Milwaukee Brewers, second baseman? His team won the Gold Glove, and he's getting a Platinum Glove to show from it. His defense was phenomenal as well. So congratulations, Blue Jays, Brewers, Cal Raleigh, and Bryce Terang, Team Gold Glove, and the Platinum Gold Glove winners. So yeah, big stuff there. Moving on here, we've got the Silver Sluggers for everybody. We've got the whole list here, catcher all the way to utility, as well as the team. So we'll do the teams first here, and then we'll quickly just run through the list because, there's a lot of other awards to still talk about and give out here. For the Silver Slugger, the team awards, of course, the 2 teams in the World Series, Yankees and Dodgers. How about it? The Yankees are AL Silver Slugger winners, and the Dodgers are NL Silver Sluggers. So congrats to both of those teams. Specifically now for positions in the AL, the catcher belongs to Kansas City Royals' very own Salvador Perez, winning another Silver Slugger for him. At first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from the Blue Jays, he gets another one. Jose Altuve at second base for the Houston Astros. The third baseman, Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez is a Silver Slugger winner. Bobby Witt Jr. wins it for shortstop. In the outfield, it goes Anthony Santander, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto, the 3 recipients of the Silver Slugger for the AL outfielders. DH, how about Brent Rooker? What a season he had. Hats off to you. And then for utility, Josh Smith from the Texas Rangers. Who would have thought? Not me, let me tell you. Those are the AL Silver Slugger winners. On the NL side of things, William Contreras from your Milwaukee Brewers is your catcher Silver Slugger winner. Bryce Harper at first baseman from your Philadelphia Phillies. Ketel Marte at second from your Arizona Diamondbacks. Manny Machado at third from your San Diego Padres. Francisco Lindor from the New York Mets at shortstop. The outfield Silver Sluggers consists of Teoscar Hernandez from the Dodgers, Jackson Merrill from the Padres, Jerickson Profar from the Padres. What a year Profar had. It'll be interesting to see how his free agency tags along here. The DH, of course, coming from the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, and the utility also coming from the Dodgers, it is Mookie Betts. Those are all your Silver Slugger winners for the 2024 season. Moving on now, we've got some awards to give out. Last night was the All-MLB award show here. They gave out some award shows as well as the All-MLB teams here. We'll be talking about those really quickly here as well. Starting off with the comeback players of the year from the AL, it was Garrett Crochet from your Chicago White Sox, the highlight point of the White Sox team this year. He was phenomenal and, had a tough 2023, but came back around and was healthy and was great for them this year. On the NL side, how about Chris Sale? Of course, who would have thought? People thought that this guy was dead in the water, career coming to an end. He gets traded to Atlanta from the Red Sox and has a career year, one of the best seasons of his career since being traded from the White Sox in his prime to the Red Sox. So congratulations, Chris Sale and Garrett Crochet, comeback players of the year. The relievers of the year, of course, in the AL would be Emmanuel Clase from your Cleveland Guardians. Guy was straight filth in this season. On the NL side, how about Mr. St. Louis' very own Cardinals, Ryan Helsley, closing pitcher there. Those were your two relievers of the year, AL and NL. For the Edgar Martinez Outstanding DH Award, that goes, of course, to Shohei Ohtani. Who else but Ohtani? And the Hank Aaron Award winners as well. In the AL, it was Aaron Judge, and in the NL, it was Shohei Ohtani, the two most marketable, most known, and the faces of MLB, I would say, going forward here. From the Yankees, from the Dodgers, two of the most successful teams. Of course, the World Series teams as well. So nothing new there. Those are some award winners for the 2024 season here. And really the last thing to do in this episode here is talk about the 2024 All-MLB Team winners. Huge honors here as we'll go through the first and second teams here. So these are the best of the best, kind of the finest players of 2024, the 2024 All-MLB first team. The catcher from your Milwaukee Brewers, it was William Contreras. At first base from your Toronto Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. At second base from your Arizona Diamondbacks, it was Ketel Marte. Third baseman from the Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez. At shortstop, Kansas City Royals faithful Bobby Witt Jr. taking the cake. In the outfield, we have Mookie Betts from your Los Angeles Dodgers, Aaron Judge from your New York Yankees, Juan Soto from your New York Yankees, and the designated hitter from Los Angeles Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, makes up the offensive part of the 2024 All-MLB first team. For the starting pitchers, the 5 starting pitchers making that team from your Atlanta Braves, the ace of the year, Chris Sale. Number 2, Tarek Skubal. Number 3, Paul Skeens. Number 4, Corbin Burns. And number 5, Zach Wheeler, with the 2 relievers on this team being Emmanuel Clase and, of course, Ryan Helsley, the relievers of the year. That is the best players, the All-MLB first team from the 2024 season. Of course, there is also a 2024 All-MLB second team, the second best players at each position, the 6 through 10 starters, as well as the 3 and 4 relievers. So, for this team, catcher from the Kansas City Royals, Salvador Perez. First baseman from the Philadelphia Phillies, it is Bryce Harper. Second baseman from the Houston Astros, Jose Altuve. Third baseman from the Padres, Manny Machado. Shortstop from the Mets, Francisco Lindor. Left fielder and the outfield in general for the second team here from the Boston Red Sox, it is Jarren Duran. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, Teoscar Hernandez. And from the San Diego Padres, Jackson Merrill are your outfielders there. Designated hitter is from the Houston Astros, Yordan Alvarez, making up the offense part of the second team. For the starting pitchers, the ace of the second team, it is Seth Lugo, followed by Dylan Cease in the 2, Shota Imanaga from the Cubs in the 3, of course, Dylan Cease from the Padres. From the Houston Astros, number 4, Framber Valdez, and rounding off the rotation from the San Diego Padres as well, Michael King. And then there are 2 relievers in the second team here from the soon to be not the Oakland, but for now, the Oakland Athletics, Mason Miller, and from, I believe, the Texas Rangers, Kirby Yates. Who would have thought? Not me. So those are your two, your All-MLB first team and your All-MLB second team. Congratulations to all of the winners and players that got to be a part of these teams. Big shout out for Paul Skeens, Jackson Merrill, Mason Miller, and Shota Imanaga. Jackson Merrill, Paul Skeens, Mason Miller, Shota Imanaga. Yeah, those are the 4 rookies that were a part of these teams. So big ups for these players because outstanding years. Of course, Shota Imanaga will probably come 4th in Rookie of the Year voting because he was also very deserving of it. He had a great start to the season and then kind of players and teams start figuring him out a little bit more. But yeah, big ups for these players here. I always thought it'd be fun if you took the MLB first team, you took the MLB second team, and had them play like an end of the year All-Star game. Have something like that. I always thought that'd be kind of fun. You let a pitcher go 2 innings each. You kind of get through the 7 guys you have, and you have a team here. I thought that was always a fun idea to rock out, but I've never heard anyone else talk about it either, unfortunately. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here today. I appreciate you all for sticking around. Still waiting for the stove. Plenty of free agents waiting to go here. Going to do one last check, see if anything else happened while I was recording from start to finish here. Hoping to see Juan Soto rumors with the Red Sox, Yankees, Jays, and Dodgers. That's the teams that they've met with in the Florida camp right now, and Soto's camp. So nothing really there. But yeah, Soto's free will continue to heat up, and hopefully some players start signing. That's not with just the Angels here. Would love to talk some baseball here. Hopefully there's some stuff to talk about next week as well. Of course, we'll have the winners for the MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, and Manager of the Year, among hopefully, like I said, other things to talk about just besides some awards. I appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody, so much, and I will see you next week on Friday. I don't know how I like that. On Friday.